They say that when the war was coming to an end, there were things happening underground that even the soldiers refused to speak about. Not battles, not bombs, something else. Something quieter. Tonight, I'll tell you what they found beneath the ruins of an abandoned bunker in 1945. A place they called the Silent Experiment.
In late April 1945, just weeks before the German surrender, a small Allied scouting team was sent deep into the Black Forest. Their mission was simple: locate a rumored communications post used by the Nazi High Command. But what they found wasn't on any map. Hidden beneath a collapsed farmhouse was a steel door, rusted, unmarked, sealed from the outside. It took them nearly 2 hours to cut through it. As the last bolt fell loose, a blast of cold, stale air rolled up from below. One of the soldiers, Corporal Miller, would later write in his journal, "The air was thick, like something had been rotting for years, but there was no smell of death, just silence."
They entered the bunker with flashlights and rifles raised. The corridors stretched for nearly 50 meters before splitting into two. The walls were lined with thick cables, still faintly humming with electricity. "Someone's been here recently," Miller whispered. Their footsteps echoed against the concrete, bouncing back as if the walls themselves were breathing. Then they reached the first chamber, a laboratory. Beakers, metal restraints, notes written in German. On one wall, a phrase was painted in black. "Schweigen ist Überleben." Silence is survival.
In the center of the lab stood a large cylindrical glass chamber, cracked but intact. Inside it was nothing. Yet when one of the men approached, his flashlight flickered. And for a moment, just a fraction of a second, he swore he saw a face pressed against the glass from the inside. The team froze. They began searching the desks, trying to make sense of what this place had been used for. Dozens of notebooks filled with symbols, sketches of the human brain, and repeated words. Phase 4, erasing fear. One of the soldiers whispered. They were experimenting on people's emotions. Another replied, "No, I think they were trying to remove the soul." When they reached the final room, their radios stopped working. The static wasn't random, it was rhythmic. Tick, tick, pause. Tick, tick, pause. Tick. Miller later realized it was Morse code, repeating the same phrase over and over. "Stay below." Suddenly, the lights flickered again, and this time they didn't come back on. Only the faint blue glow from the cracked chamber lit the room. That's when they heard it. A whisper. Low, guttural, and coming from inside the walls. "Schweigen! Schweigen!" Then footsteps, dozens of them, but no one visible. Panic set in. The team turned to retreat, but the steel door at the entrance had sealed itself shut. Miller's report says they heard banging from the other side, as if someone else was trying to get in, not out. One soldier fired his weapon into the darkness. The sound didn't echo. It was swallowed completely. Seconds later, his flashlight flickered one last time,
revealing something standing behind Miller. Not a man, not a ghost, a shadow, thin, tall, featureless, yet perfectly still. Its head tilted, as if it were listening. Only 2 soldiers made it out. When rescue teams arrived the next morning, the bunker was gone. The ground had collapsed, burying everything beneath. Miller was found wandering in the forest, barefoot, clutching a single page from the lab. On it, a phrase written in his own handwriting. We tried to erase fear, but fear erased us. To this day, no official records of the silent experiment exist, but German locals still talk about that part of the forest. They say you can hear metal doors creaking open at night. Some say it's just the wind. Others believe the experiment never stopped. And if you ever find yourself in the Black Forest and you hear a voice whisper, "Schweigen ist Überleben," don't answer. Just